Hi, I'm Laura Bryan. I'm the owner of Lamprey Media. I'm here to give you my 5 tips for starting a new service business. Tip 1, automate your time tracking and invoicing. So when I first started my business, I found it very difficult to do invoicing. It took me hours. That and all my time tracking, I was just writing it down on paper, or I feel like I didn't have a central place to even keep all those notes stored. So it took me a couple hours just to find all the places that I wrote down my time, and then from there I would manually create an invoice, and it just took me forever. From there, I found an app that helped me do all my time tracking, but my invoicing wasn't built into that. So I still was kind of manually moving my hours from the time tracker to my invoicing. And then, so a friend of mine told me about an app called Harvest, which has both time tracking and invoicing all put together. I found it to be a much easier interface than all the other time tracking apps. It worked best for me. Super easy to stop and start in my time. And then with one push of the button, I can have all my invoices made and sent off to my clients. Tip number 2, set up a staging site. Setting up a staging site is the best way to test any updates that you are applying to your WordPress site. It's also a really great way to put in new content, make sure that it's going to look great before you publish it to your live site. If for some reason you have a host that doesn't provide staging, you can also set up your staging site on your local computer using, there's a couple different pieces of software out there that lets you set up a local server. Tip 3, block your time. This is something that actually took me a long time, and I'm still kind of tweaking it a little for my own business, but I found that there's certain times of the day that I'm more efficient with different tasks. So I found that if I set like this really loose kind of blocks of time through my schedule for the week, that it makes it easier to kind of get through my week and get all the things done that I need to get done. For instance, I actually am more productive in the afternoons, so I block out time in the afternoons to do any coding or design work for my clients. I've also discovered that I do best putting my meetings in the morning. If I do my meetings in the afternoon, I feel like it just totally distracts me for the rest of the day and I can't get anything done. So I usually block out my mornings for meetings, and usually only let my clients schedule meetings in the morning. And the last thing I do is I have a day, and it's usually Monday, where I focus on my business. So it's like the day that I do all my invoicing, or do those little things that you have to do to keep your business running and are not billable to your clients. Tip number 4, create an intake questionnaire. This is something I actually did with my first client, but I think I only had like 10 questions on the questionnaire, and I quickly learned that 10 questions was not enough to get all the information that I needed to create the best website for my client. We had a lot of back and forth, and so with every client, I actually expand the amount of questions I put on there, and they're very detailed. Tip number 5, find a community. So when I first started working for myself with my business, I found myself to be at home a lot by myself, and definitely missed that, what I was previously used to be in the office with a bunch of people. So I started seeking out different meetups, and I actually went to several meetups before I found the community that I now lean on now. It is a great way to get feedback, both about running a business, but then also feedback, because I'm really active in the WordPress community. It gives me people that I can go to and be like, hey, I'm really struggling with this issue. Has anyone run into this issue before? But then also, kind of see how people are doing things differently to run their business. I know I mentioned that, it took me a while to figure out my time tracking and invoicing, and that's because I had this community where I could go, and I was like, I'm really struggling with spending hours and hours making an invoice, and so then everyone started chiming in, well, here's the app that I use, and this is how you can make that more efficient. And so I found having a community of people that I regularly check in with just to be invaluable to my business. Those are my 5 tips. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you at a WordCamp really soon.